Keeping an internal balance. Homeostasis is the ability of your body to maintain an internal balance. This is required when a change to the outside environment generates a response from your body's internal environment. So it's cold, it's warm, you're under stress. What is your body going to do to maintain the systems that it has? So the body has to maintain proper internal conditions while responding to the changes outside. So if it's warm, your body still needs to maintain its regular temperature, but it also needs to sweat to help your skin on the outside. So all body systems work together to do this. Again, homeostasis is your body's ability to maintain an internal balance. There's a video here about homeostasis. I've linked it below on our course website for you guys to take a look at. Temperature is a big one. The body must react to change when exercising, when there's temperature changes outside the body, and when we're injured. The body controls temperature by sweating or increasing and decreasing the blood flow to our extremities, aka like our arms and our legs, our fingers, toes. It really tries to keep the blood within our core, usually under stress. So because we're not in class and can't do this experiment, the Daphnia experiment is in your textbook. And what we would have done is taken this little bug and exposed it to warm and cool water and actually been able to see its heart beating. So we know that our heart beats faster when you are exercising or under stress. The heart rate is also dependent on temperature. A simple experiment was designed to compare the heart rate of Daphnia when the temperatures changed. Daphnia, or commonly called water fleas, are tiny little crustaceans that are transparent, so we can see all their organs in their body with a light microscope. And so what we would have been able to see is its actual heart beating, and we could count the beats per minute when we exposed it to warm and cool water. So I've taken some data, and we'll take a look at the data rather than actually doing the experiment to see what happens. So initially, we'd have regular room temperature water, what the bug is comfortable in, and we would take its heart rate. The average between 4 trials here, what we do is we add up all of these numbers and we divide by however many numbers we added together. So in this case, we added 4 numbers together. We're going to divide by 4. And the average here is 40 beats. I'm going to do the same thing for cold water. So when we put cold water on the bug, we counted its heartbeats. And if we add up all 4 of the trials and divide by the number of trials there were, so dividing by 4 again, we get 25.25 beats per minute. Beats per minute, I'm assuming per minute. And then the last one is warm water. When I add up these 4 numbers and divide by 4 one last time, I get 54.75. So what we can see is when a bug or an organism, I guess, is placed in cool water, from its original heartbeat average to its cool water heartbeat average, we can see that the heartbeat slows. In warm water, we can see that the heartbeat increases. So as temperature increases, the heart rate also increases. As temperature decreases, the heart rate decreases as well. Other ways that our body maintains homeostasis, there's a few different systems we're going to look at. So enzyme levels help to regulate their cell functions, and they most importantly control the release of energy from food in the cells. So they tell the mitochondria, go ahead, produce energy. High or low temperature will kill enzymes, so we can really affect our cell functions and our energy by having a high or a low body temperature. Our body also maintains homeostasis by regulating the waste product levels. So this is specifically like in our blood. Our respiratory system gets rid of CO2 every exhale. So remember, CO2 is generated in our cells. It's a byproduct or like a product of cellular respiration. And so the cells give CO2 to our blood. And our blood takes the CO2 to our lungs, where it's allowed to exit the body. Kidneys also filter the waste products in blood as well. So any other waste that isn't necessarily CO2 is filtered out in our kidneys. Homeostasis in our body is maintained by our blood sugar levels. After eating, the amount of glucose in our blood increases. Our pancreas is triggered then to release insulin. Insulin is a hormone that regulates the production, use of glucose in our body. So insulin will move glucose from our blood into our body tissues, and that will lower the amount of blood glucose. So if we have sugars in our blood system, we add insulin. And insulin allows these sugars to exit our bloodstream into our cells to be used for energy. And so we are decreasing the amount of sugar within our blood. Homeostasis is maintained in our body by the concentration of different substances in our blood. Our organs and systems distribute and dispose of various substances in our blood, like we kind of talked about that carbon dioxide. We've talked about glucose. We also, of course, carry oxygen in our blood, which is great, minerals, vitamins, and we've talked a little bit about wastes as well. So these are transported around our body for use in our cells or as a product of something that's happened in our cells that our body gets rid of. Homeostasis is maintained, of course, by our heart rate as well. Stress or high activity increases our heart rate. This is because our body needs to circulate more blood to deliver nutrients and oxygens to those cells because they're working hard, okay? Whether we are stressed or exercising, those cells have a heightened response. And last but not least, homeostasis is maintained by water in our body. Hormones control the amount of mineral and water within our body. Humans are actually 65 to 75% water, so it's really important that we maintain that range. It's necessary because cytoplasm is mostly water. So all of our cells are mostly made of water. Therefore, it's really important that we maintain a water balance in our body so we don't dry out our cells or add too much water to our cells and then they would explode. Bad news bears. There's some practice on page 220 of your textbook, number 2, 3, and 4 for you to take a look at.